Honorable Dennis Waweru, Your Excellency, the Prime Minister, Honorable Raila Odinga, and the parliamentary leadership ambaye wako na sisi leo hapa. Tuko hapa na pia na chair lady wangu ya KEOPA, Honorable Gadoni wa Mushomba, and all invited guests. Hamjambo tena. Leo tuko na baba hapa, hatuwezi kuzungumza mengi. Sisi tutazungumza kwa vijiji siku ikifika. Lakini baba anataka kusema kabla sija invite viongozi wangu wa bunge ya kwamba hii exercise imeendelea vizuri kwa muda sasa. Wale watu ambao walikuwa wanapiga propaganda, ambao walikuwa wanasema sisi hatuna watu huko vijijini, leo wameona wenyewe ya kwamba Askul ametoka Turkana, Ole Magelo ametoka Narok, Bob Madanji na Jakoi ametoka Nyanza, Abdiria ametoka huko Northeastern, Nairobi Gesire na yule mtu ya ODM wako hapa, Weru ametoka Mount Kenya. Sijui hawa sijaona kama wamevaa uniform ya chief pia. Naona wamevaa tu koti na suit. Sasa wale walikuwa wanasema ati hii exercise inarorotwa na chief. Hata chief alikuwa anapatia security ili exercise iendelee kwa njia ya amani. Jambo la pili, hii secretariat, Your Excellency, sasa vile mmeunda hii secretariat pamoja na kiongozi wao rafiki yako His Excellency the President, wamefanya kazi mzuri. Wamerogota sasa karibu 5 million signatures, ambayo ni over 25% ya registered voters ya Kenya. Already 25% ya registered voters wamesema yes kwa hii safari. Lakini wanasema safari ya mamba pia kuna kenge. So lazima utasikia tu wengine wakipiga kelele hapo na pale. Sisi hatuangalii nyuma, tunasonga mbele. Kwa sababu ukienda kwa safari ukiangalia nyuma, utabaki nyuma. Vile bibi ya ile mtume Lot Waislamu wanasema alibaki nyuma, akiangalia nyuma mawe moto ikapiga kichwa akakufa hapo. So sisi tutasonga mbele. Wale wazungumze tu, na amendments hii sio ya mwisho. Wewe pia unaweza leta yako vile Jakoi amesema, na usanye sahihi 1,000,000 upeleke IBC na wananchi waamue kama wanakubaliana na wewe ama wakubaliana na wewe. Hii ni ya wenyewe, wamejikusanya, wametoa maoni na wameuliza maoni ya wananchi na wakapeleka mbele. Hii mambo ambayo tunasikia kila siku watu wanaongea, wanasema kila siku wanatoa vikwazo mpya. Ya juzi ni tofauti na ya leo. Na ya leo itakuwa tofauti na ya kesho. Na kesho itakuwa tofauti na kesho kutwa. Wewe endelea kutoa tu vikwazo. Sisi tunasonga mbele. Ule ya chura hawezi kuzuia ng'ombe kunywa maji. Sisi tuendelea mbele. Kwa hiyo machache, sasa nataka kualika viongozi wachache pia waseme machache, kwa sababu wako na sisi hapa. Kabla hatujaalika kiongozi wetu ambaye ni partner wa handshake katika hii safari, Honorable Raila Odinga. Kuna wabunge ambao wamekuja hapa, nataka kuwatambua tu. On their behalf watazungumzwa na KEOPA, kwa sababu ni wamama nimeona. Na chair lady yuko hapa. Tuko hapa na mheshimiwa kutoka Kitui South na chairman ya Departmental Committee ya Lands, Honorable Nyamai, Rachel Nyamai. Mheshimiwa, karibu sana. Tuko hapa na kiongozi kutoka Northeastern ambaye ni Honorable Fatuma Gedi, women rep ya Wajir County. Ningewapatia nafasi lakini kwa sababu ya muda. Sasa nataka kualika chair lady wangu azungumze on their behalf. Mimi ni member ya KEOPA, vile wananiona mimi. Anajua hata yeye niko na namba hapo, na I normally attend their meetings kama ex-official member. Na hii katiba sasa imesema 2/3 lazima mama wakuwe wengi. Sasa wamama 10 lazima wakuwe na wanaume 3, na mimi ndio nimetangulia. Mama, karibu sana. Asante sana.
Is what I was talking about, that we are sitting on an advisory, and His Excellency the President knew within the framework of BBI the issue of gender parity will be resolved, and that's why he has not dissolved Parliament. But when I listen to our friends, all they are saying is Parliament is dissolved. We have another election, but they are not ready for referendum. I listened to some confusion that took place in the neighborhood of Karen. And one of the things that came out very clearly is that they are very uncomfortable that by having women in parliament, the number of people in parliament will become too large. So they are happy with men in parliament, but they don't want to sacrifice for women. And it became very clear that even when asked, they said, we would rather have the 47 women reps back, and then ile Article 81B tuiangalia fresh. What does kuiangalia fresh mean? Iondolewe. Because they don't want women in leadership. Wanawadanganya tu waende kwa rali zao, watingize viuno. But when it comes to leadership, the only two people who are willing to take a risk, afadhali hata BBI yanguke, but women should be there. The only two people who are taking high risk is Honorable Raila Odinga and His Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta. They have shown they love women and care for women. Hao wengine wote ni kutuanganya tu kwa maharambe na nini kuambia wanawake tunawatetea mama mboga mtakuwa kwa serikali, but when we talk of women in leadership, they say itakuwa expensive. Yeah? So I think it's something we need to see the hypocrisy that people who are aspiring to get into leadership are cheating Kenyans na tutafanya kazi na nyinyi, but on the day of reckoning they come out very clearly to say that they don't care about the women. All they want to care is wao wapatiwe leadership. So this is a blessing in disguise that people who are able to meona ukweli wa mambo, and people of Kenya can now make up their mind in terms of who will take them to canon and who will keep them in misery forever for their own personal benefits. Stakuzungumza maneno mengi. Thank you very much, our coordinators. And I want to also say it was very good that our provincial administration, or the administration, the security staff within the government were able to provide the necessary security, because there are so many people who would have wanted that vitabu yote isemekana imenyang'anywa, but they were guarded well to show security is working, and we are very happy that the government was able to provide that for the process. So many people have been involved in this process, and we want to say thank you, because after this, the train has left. I don't know, there are people still waiting at the train irudi nyuma for them to board. We cannot wait for anyone. Mtu akimbie atapelekana kwa the next station. Aboard the train tuendelee. Lakini train cannot go backwards. Ukianza kupika keki, I know, and you put all the ingredients, hata ugali, atikumbuke hukuweka something, probably cake is better. Atihukuweka ile flavoring ama nini, uitoe kwa oven, alafu uanze kutoanisha, kuongeza chumvi, urudishe, utapata keki ama itakuwa umeharibu. So our cake is ready for, inakuwa baked, and we don't want to be left behind or derailed by anyone. Sasa kusema mengi, ningetaka kuambia tu marafiki zetu. I know I've talked to a number of the members of parliament, some of the 140. Ukiangalia kwa hii electronic, utaona walisign. Some even signed yesterday night, because they don't want to be left behind. Lakini wanasema ukituona huko wewe sijali, lakini kwa BBI tutakuwa, and I want to invite as many as possible, so that even in parliament there will be a tally, na tunaona nani alikuwa na sisi na nani yuko na wameanza kutetemeka. So things are moving well, and with those many remarks, I want to ask that we prepare ourselves, tumkaribishe our principal, the man behind the Building Bridges Initiative to Unity, with the Minister, the co-chairs of this wonderful initiative, my friend Dennis Waweru and my friend Junet Mohamed, and the leadership from Parliament and the coordinators. I think today we have reached a very decisive moment when we can assure the whole country that we got the wherewithal to move to the next stage of presenting these signatures to the IEBC. Now, I just want to say two things about this process. There are some people out there who are confusing the public
without making a proper distinction between what is a parliamentary process and what is a popular initiative. The popular initiative does not speak to who undertakes the initiative. It speaks to the process. And the process through the popular initiative is that it starts with the people and ends with the people. You collect signatures in the popular initiative. In fact, this one, Your Excellency, the Prime Minister, you have done better than what the Constitution requires. The Constitution requires presentation of 1 million, not less than 1 million signatures. But in this process, before the presentation of those 1 million signatures, for 2 years, you took an initiative with a team that you appointed that went all over the country to take views from the people of Kenya, and then it was followed by a validation process. I was looking back and looking at the people who have presented views to the steering committee and during the validation process. A lot of the people who are speaking against the bill today, you will find their names as having presented their views during that process. And today they are turning around to say that, their views were not taken into consideration. The churches, civil society, individual members of parliament and groups, if you look at the list of contributions from those who gave their views, this initiative has been the most, inclusive and people-driven than any other process that I can imagine. Now, these people who are making noise, they are like critics. In the world of art, there are those who are called critics. They wait for somebody to write a book. They can never write a book. They wait for you to write a book, and then begin to criticize. You design a house. When the house is up, they begin to criticize. Now, the last time I heard these critics talk was about the current Constitution of Kenya 2010. They said that this Constitution, there are some areas they did not agree with. Now, I was wondering that from the year 2013, they would have taken an initiative to correct what they had said in 2013 that was not proper or they did not agree with. But they've been silent and quiet for 7 years. And now that this initiative has been brought forth, they are beginning to say that there's something wrong with it. I want to assure Kenyans that I've gone through this bill with the eye and mind of a constitutional lawyer. And I am happy with the result. I'm very happy with the result. One of the things they've been criticizing is about the ombudsman, that the ombudsman is appointed by the president or is appointed by the executive. I think they should read the structure of the Constitution, the appointments, the way they are made, and come to the realization that even the Chief Justice of the Republic of Kenya is appointed by the president after a process. But the ombudsman under this bill operates within the confines of the Judicial Service Commission. So it does not undermine in any shape or form the independence of the judiciary at all. And this bill, I think you need to read it as a whole. Every constitution, you can make a conclusion whether you have a good document by reading it as a whole instead of reading it in pieces, because that way it will not make sense. Now, finally, there are people who have been talking about a multiple choice. I think they're coming with this idea too early. Legislation through a parliamentary bill would not do, because the Constitution says you vote on a bill, not on questions. You vote on a bill. So when the referendum comes, we are not going to have a multiple choice. We are going to have a bill, and you are going to vote on the bill. And judging by these numbers, I think that, the end result would show that we will continue to dance reggae for a little longer than they thought. The reggae has not been stopped. And therefore, with those remarks, I thank you, Your Excellency, and I know the nation is waiting. And I want to thank the people from Nyanza also for taking the first place by registering 893,000. I know if you give them time until the morning, in the next 6-7 hours, they would have reached more than 1 million. Bob, thanks. Jacobo, thanks. And that is a good job done. Thank you very much.
Your Excellency Raila Odinga, the leaders who are here present, the two co-chairs, my brother Dennis Waweru and Junet Mohamed, together with the coordinators who have done a splendid job and have made us realize a very high number that we didn't even project. Actually, the projection was 4 million, but we are upwards of 6 million. I think that is commendable. I've just a few comments to make. One, I don't want to repeat what has been said over and over again from 2018, the value that the handshake has brought to this country. But I want to just point out that the mere fact that today I can stand in this compound, this used to be the TNA house, for John Mbadi, the national chairman of ODM, to stand here today and speak comfortably, that just is a demonstration that Kenya has made several steps forward and no one can take us backwards. Your Excellency, I want to say there is a say that goes that there is a time to lead and a time to listen. But I want to paraphrase it and say that there is a time to listen and a time to lead. Once you have listened to concerns of the people, as you have done when this process was going on, the BBI process, now is a time to lead. And the President, together with the Prime Minister, this is now the time to lead the people of Kenya to the promised land. This is the time to lead us to the change that is desired in this country. It is the time to lead us to that vision that we have always had of a Kenya where we see each other as brothers and sisters. This is not the time to talk about pettiness. This is not the time to hold press conferences and criticize everything that everyone else is doing. I want to just say something about what we are likely to do with my colleague Amos Kemonya in the National Assembly, and I expect, and I'm sure, that my senior Senator James Orengo, together with his colleague who is not here today, Pogisi, will also do in the Senate. Number one, the referendum bill, we are ready to come back from recess and pass it. Kemonya and I will ask the Speaker to reconvene Parliament from recess and pass it. But that bill, we are going to mobilize our members to ensure that the referendum question is one and not multiple. We cannot go to an election and do an exam. We cannot go to an election and do KCP or KCSE exam, where we have a number of questions with multiple choices. Kenyans cannot afford that. And I think we better tell Ruto, the Deputy President, just straight on the face that that is not practical. We are not going to do it. The other thing is we are also ready, if IBC, because I don't see what IBC will be doing with these signatures for even a month. Really, these signatures are the way they are organized. If you have an IT system, it should take a week for IBC to verify the signatures. Again, we are ready as National Assembly and the Senate to come back once the counties will have also disposed of it. And I also expect the counties to take below a month. What are you doing with this document? The people of Kenya already have it. They have signed.
1 week.
Actually, I'm being told 1 week. They have signed. They have appended signatures, upwards of 6 million. What are you telling them when you are still holding the document with you? So then the National Assembly and the Senate will come back. Ours will be ceremonial. Even if we didn't pass it, it will still go to the people of Kenya. But I assure you, we have the numbers to pass it. The 140 you saw in Karen it's just a drop in the ocean when it comes to the 416 members that we have in the Senate and the National Assembly. So we will pass it. That is guaranteed. My final remarks, I think let us work together as the people of Kenya. Prime Minister, we are behind you with your brother, President Uhuru Kenyatta. And let us work together in all aspects. In fact, I was telling my brother here, Dennis Waweru, that me I'm also seeing some clouds gathering somewhere. And vile unaongea, pengine huwezi jua ya kesho ni itakuja na nini. So hiyo tutaongea. You know, ODM is a big party also. Tutaongea na mimi kama chairman, tutaongea kama party, tutaongea na Jubilee, na tutaendelea hapa mbele. Mbele pamoja. Asanteni sana, Mungu awabariki.
Asante sana.